Okay, we're here again. Windrush, Remembering the Sound Man them, Part 2. We're here today in Leeds, Chapeltown, Leeds again, with one of that next generation of sound systems that we've been talking about. We're here with Too Tall from Magnum 45, Chapeltown, Leeds. Welcome, Too Tall.
Welcome. Yes, my brother.
Respect,
Yeah,
Reggie, respect.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Too Tall. Magnum 45. What inspired you and your brethren them to set up a sound system? What was the inspiration?
All right, from the offs, the name's been shortened. Because the name comes from a Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah.
The Magnum 45.
The big gun movie.
Yeah, the big gun movie. You know, when we used to go to Astoria and them place, and you watch the movie before you go on the dance.
Yeah.
So, it come about actually because I first started off with a close friend of mine from school, Terence Norford.
Yeah.
And, you know, we got into the sound thing and everybody was doing it. And I'd already been in a sound. I'd been in a sound with Errol and Gary Walton.
Okay.
And we called ourselves Wire Hi-Fi.
Wire Hi-Fi.
Yes.
So that was your original
That's
sound.
the original sound system for me.
Yeah, Wire Hi-Fi.
Wire Hi-Fi. A quick story, because I got to put these stories in for you to understand where I go and where we come from. So we had one booking only with Wire Hi-Fi, and it was at a girl's house. It was a party, and it was during the day, because obviously we young them time. There was only about 13, 14, something like that. So we had two little box, one small 12-inch and a little 10-inch on top of that. And that was the tweeter section, and we had the little things and stuff. So we had our little tune, and we had played the party, and everything had gone nice. But what the girl didn't tell us is that she didn't tell her father that she was having the party. So we did there, I play a tune, everybody nice up, and things are going good. The next thing we hear is, I want to come out of my rotting, yeah. And so everybody's like, oh my God, the party's here, boom, boom, boom. So we had to chip out and everything. My man just pitched out the box, pitched out the deck, pitched out the everything. That was the end of the set, Bridget. That was just one dance, Wire Hi-Fi.
Yeah.
So from there, I had that buzz. Plus my uncle, on my dad's side, he used to run a sound, big man sound back in the day, Bertram sound.
Oh, Mr. Bertram.
That was my uncle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Bertram.
So as you know, back in the day, as a young child, no babysitter them time.
Yeah.
You go to the party,
Yeah.
but usually them put you in a room with the rest of the kids in the courts, and you're jumping around and doing stupidness. But as time progressed, I used to come out and see what was going on. And I used to stand up next to my uncle, and sometimes he'd tell me, pass the tune, or put that back and them thing there, you know what I mean? So the bug, you know what I mean? So we catch the bug real quick. So back to my friend Terence and everything, and we sat down watching Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
And I said, let's make a sound, man. I want to make a sound. Actually, before that, sorry, I'm jumping the gun. I set a sound up with him, and it was Enforcer. And his older brother, and
David
Norford. David Norford and Michael Ruddock.
Yeah.
We was running sound for a short while. It wasn't that long, it was about 8-9 months or whatever. And we had a few boxes, and they liked the boxes and liked what we were doing, and said, oh, let's set up, let's join up.
Yeah.
So we got them involved and everything, and then shortly after that, they kicked us out.
Oh, is that when they came Dub Enforcer?
That's when they became Dub Enforcer. Yeah. And because they were older than us, and even though it was only a year or 2 years, you know, back in the day, with enough respect, big man, youth, that kind of thing there. So I was quite upset about that, to tell you the truth. I don't know how Terence just took it like that, but I was quite upset. So from there, I was like, boy, I'm going to set up a next set. You know what I mean? Them time they were just reaching the back end of school. And my year group was pretty tight.
Yeah.
So you're talking about, you know, when a man you're moving with about 20, 25 man strong, you understand?
Yeah.
So man's tight, you know what I mean? So we used to mess around, and it was down at Roseville. They had these steel columns with them big rivets and stuff. So because it was European studies class, that most of us was in the same class. So I was sat next to one of the pillars. So I drew treble, bass, mid and bass, and then we used to mess about, and me I run so now I drop bass and everything. And from there we said, why don't we make a sound? So we got a sound. So about 10, 12 man got together, and I was with Terrence at one stage. I was at his yard watching the Clint Eastwood movie, and I was telling him I'm going to make a sound and everything, and we said, what would be a good name and everything, and then the movie came up. It's a Magnum Force 45. I said, I like that, you know. I'm running with that.
Yeah.
So
that's where Magnum.
That's where it came from, Clint Eastwood.
So name as you mentioned Magnum. Let's talk about Magnum. Give me the list of the name of the man that was in Magnum.
Right. As I said, we started off with about 10, 12 man strong. So you know, Alex Archibald, Michael Walters, Stanley Tudor, Winston Grant. There was people. Kevin wasn't there at the time.
Okay.
Kevin came in late. We drew him in late. And there was people like, I said Stanley in it. And it rounded up to be about 10 man, you know what I mean, 10 man. And then it whittled itself down. Yeah. And that's when Kevin Dust came in.
Did Kevin and Troy come in? Or
no, it was just Kevin to begin with. Troy had set up his own sound with Skibble and then Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a separate thing.
What about Fireball?
Yeah, Fireball came in. Yeah, Fireball was there. Winston Grant. He came in as well.
And my guy who passed away, Froggy, I used to call him.
Froggy, Tony Crawford. How could I forget Tony Crawford, Ernest Bass.
Yeah.
All them guys, you know, tight.
Yeah,
Joe Sheriff.
Yeah, all you lot was tight.
Yeah, it was really, really tight. And there was a little bit of an age gap between, just a year or so, you know what I mean? But we were really tight. And later on, people like Michael Tomslick, Ernest Bass's brother, you know, so we were strong. There were numbers. We had numbers.
And what roles did you guys have in the sound? Let's concentrate on Magnum.
Right.
When you got to Magnum, what roles did individuals have?
Right.
Who was the
technician was with Dust. Kevin Walters. He was a technician. He's the electronics man. Ernest Bass used to ride alongside him. I ended up being selector with Menzies when he came in. It was generally that. Mike Men was Joe Sheriff. Skip, we used to call him, and still do. And then we recruited some younger end as well, from Isaiah Sound. Okay. Because we had our set in their basement, the parents' basement. And from there, Isaiah kind of like conjured up from the Magnum thing and went on.
Okay. Thinking back to Magnum, and when Magnum was playing, where did Magnum play locally? What venues? What kind of venues do you remember playing with your sound?
Well, we was a sound, you know. We played all kind of venues, and we had all kind of styles. You know, we'd go in a clash, as you know. See right there. So we go in a clash dance. We play parties. We play Christmas.
So Studley
Grange. This place, community centre, Roscoe's Church. Primrose Hill High School, Roseville Centre. We played at Elmer School. You know, there was nowhere that we wouldn't play. You know what I mean? And you know, at a certain time in Magnum's lifespan, we was fairly popular as well. So we'd play out quite regular on a weekend, you know.
I remember when Magnum came, they were a bit of a slick crew, you know, kind of, and your boxes were very neat. Yeah. Who was your box designer?
Fireball. It was a combination of him, Dust, and probably Tony Crawford Seed. You know what I mean? They designed it, but Fireball, he's the man. The joiner guy. And he was quite good at drawing as well. Okay. I don't know if you remember the lion box that we had. Yeah. Intricate lion box, a head of a lion and roaring, and we put a red light behind it. We used to be in blues more time. We used to put it up there. Everybody, as soon as you walk in, you'd see it and be like, blood, nah. I want to get that from. And like, we change boxes regular.
Yeah, I did know it.
People thought we had a stack of boxes, but we didn't. What happened is that we'd create a design, put the speakers in, and we'd probably play up center, and then we'd check the boxes, and we're like, this box is shit. We're ripping that down when we get back. So we rip it down, give a new design, come back out with the next box. Probably a week, 2-3 weeks after the balance. Why? How much box the man them have? You know what I mean? But we be changing them all the time.
Yeah, playing local, you mentioned a lot of venues. Outside of Leeds, did your sound get to play outside of Leeds?
Yes, we played outside of Leeds. I think Magnum fortunate because we went places we shouldn't have been, really, to be quite honest. We've played in Bradford, played in Sheffield, Manchester, played in Manchester, played Northampton, didn't get to play in London, Wolverhampton, Derby. Yeah, they've got a good number of places. How I rate our sound, there were the Premiership sounds, and I rated our sound as a first division sound. All right, I'm going to take this opportunity to big up Maverick, because I really believe that Maverick and Screaming Tiger were the flag bearers for Chapeltown, because they'd played, you know, all the big boys. You know what I'm saying? So respect due to Maverick. Yeah.
No. I would definitely agree that Maverick was the one that, in the second wave, took Leeds sounds out of the city
Definitely.
in a big way.
And recognisable, And when people went to a different city and they say, where you from? They say Leeds, and they say, oh, I have a Maverick sound. So they were recognisable. So respect Scully and the crew.
I got caught a little bit in that, in the sense that, because I spent so much time around
Yeah.
Maverick,
Well, the blacker spot, innit?
I was with Maverick.
That's blacker spot.
Yeah, because of blacker spot. So people would think I was in Maverick, and I spent a lot of time saying, no, I'm not in Maverick, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, no, I interviewed Scully and
I saw that interview. That was a good one, yeah.
One of the things I want to mention is you.
Right.
And as well as playing sounds, there was the skanking. Yeah, and you was
uncontrollable.
I couldn't. And Sparky definitely represented Leeds wherever you went.
That was uncontrollable for me, to tell you the truth. I just couldn't help myself, you know. But I remember an instance where we was up at Centre one time. We wasn't playing. I think it was a local thing. And I went up with Duss and Seed and everything. And I said, before I went in there, I said, I'm not going to skank, I'm just going to cool out. You know, and everything. And then when I looked at each of them, like, yeah, right. So I was in there and everything. And I was holding my corner for about an hour or so, but a tune came on that I just couldn't resist, something like Norman the Gambler or something. And I just went up there and just broke out laughing. It was something instinctive. I like to believe it's African connection. The drum beat, you know what I mean? The spiritual side of it, the lyrics that was attaining to us at that present time, you know, because obviously what we were going through and everything.
I'd like to mark this, you know, this video to say, you know, our champion skanker. This was our champion skanker. Send him anywhere in the world to represent these skanking. Him and Sparky, send him anywhere.
Yeah, man.
And everything's going.
And I'd just like to say, I think Sparky, he was the number one in the country, as far as I'm concerned. I don't care anybody said. I don't care where you come from, what sound you come from. Plug was the best skanker in the country, and I think he still is right now.
I would say that skanking was as important as the sound system. You know, you had to have your man to represent.
You have to have a man to represent.
Okay, as we get ready to wind this down, one dance that sticks out in your mind, it doesn't have to be a dance that Magnum played at.
Right.
A dance that sticks out in your mind that whenever you think about.
Well, I'm going to give you two dances, one that we played at and one that we never played at. The one dance that sticks in my mind at all times is when I went down to Birmingham and Jashoka versus Quaker City. Outstanding dance. I mean, picture that dance now, just close my eyes and picture it. The music was top notch. The bass was just beautiful. It was deep, round, bouncing bass. And of course, you know, I skanked down there. And I, as I was saying to you earlier, I had a chance to skank against this guy from London. He used to move with Shocker. And he was quite physical, a physical dancer. And what I mean by that, is that he'd physically push you or try and kick you. I remember the first time he came up to Chapeltown Community Centre, and everybody was just shocked in the way he was doing stuff, and we stood back and nobody wanted to engage or get involved. But he made a return journey, which he shouldn't have done. Because we knew who he was and how we were going to deal with him. He got kicked up all over the place, Bridget. He got kicked up and kicked out of the dance. Okay. Trust me, we didn't ramp with him that night there. Because I tell him, say, yo, I get to you there. No matter with them thing there. And he got kicked up bad, Bridget, you know what I'm saying?
So Quaker City and, was it Matthew?
Jashoka.
Jashoka.
That dance, yeah, in Birmingham.
One dance and the other dance.
The second dance that we was involved, the best dance that I think we've ever played at, is when we played at a school hall in Sheffield against Syndicate and a sound from Northampton, which slips my mind, Natty something or something a little bit. Yeah. But that was just, seriously, that was sound system heaven for me.
Yeah, was that the dance you forgot the dubbing leads and something?
No, that's when we got beat up against Dublin Forcer, got murdered in the dance. But we got him back in the blues, but it passed by then, you know what I mean? News had already travelled back to Chapeltown. Magnum got a beating, you know what I mean? It wasn't nice, but you know.
So the Sheffield dance with Syndicate.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing for me because there was one stage, because we took coaches. I think we took a coach and it was minibuses and you know, and when we were playing them, we had a high amp stand, strictly for me, basically. Putting on this, but Seed was putting on the tune at the time, so he had a box that he put down, and he stand on it. So he was playing the tune. So I stepped away with dust away from the sound into the middle of the hall, and it was packed and everything. And we were just taking it in, and we were playing the tune, and I just looked around and see everybody rocking. I felt so proud. You know, representing, you know, Chapeltown first, you understand? Because the whole of the Chapeltown man, them there. But everybody was rocking. Northampton crew was rocking. Sheffield was rocking. Chapeltown, I was like, this is what sound's about, man.